I'm Kristin Bair O'Keeffe in Shanghai, China, and this is Project Kindle. Welcome. This week we're going to talk a little bit about the bells and whistles, tools and possibilities of your Kindle. Now, one thing I have to confess before we get started is that I am a technological dork. I admit this freely, and I have accepted it in my life. But what it means is that whenever I get a new gadget, I learn the primary application of that gadget. I use it in the same way throughout the life of the gadget. When that gadget dies, I have never learned one thing about said gadget. I'm a technological dork. And if, during the life of that gadget, something happens or goes wrong, I just freak out. I'm no good. So, it's 2010. I'm turning over a new leaf, or in this case, a new page. And I have decided that I'm going to learn everything there is to learn about this particular e-reader. So, this week, what did I learn? Well, although I live in Shanghai, China, I have access to WhisperNet. I love saying that. WhisperNet is Amazon's access to its Kindle store via Wi-Fi. Now, yes, of course, here in Shanghai, China, we have Wi-Fi everywhere, but if you know anything about China, you know that we have very limited access to the internet. So I thought, well, there's no way I'm going to have access to the Kindle store, but, I was lying in bed the other night, reading my Kindle, just like this, and I noticed that the signal strength of my WhisperNet access was full. All the bars were dark and shaded, which implied to me that I might have access. So I clicked my menu, scrolled down to Shop in Kindle Store and pressed the button, and within seconds, I was cruising around the Kindle store looking at blogs and magazines and books. It was fun. I was excited. I ended up downloading 2 new books, including Catherine Stockett's very popular novel, The Help, which I'm very excited to read, and figured out that I can also order sample chapters and just download them instantly so that I don't have to buy a whole book. I can actually check it out before I buy it, which felt a wee little bit like I was in a bookstore, which I think is the point of sample chapters. So that was really great. Of course, it means that I'll spend a lot more money now that I know that I have WhisperNet. But that's beside the point. Now, the second thing I learned was last week, if you watched the video, I was talking about the design of the Kindle and how it's got a long way to go in terms of being hand-friendly and comfortable. And somebody suggested in the comment section, well, why don't you just turn it around and read it horizontally? It's a little bit of an easier read. Well, of course, I had to figure that out, and for a technological dork, not easy. But I do have the Kindle user guide on here. So the other night after I was in the Kindle store, I browsed down and went to the Kindle user guide and figured out that there is a text button on the little keyboard here. Now, if you press that, it has a double A on it. It's right next to the space bar. And if you press that, you get a menu. Now, you can do a lot of things in this little menu. You can change your text size, your words per line. You can turn on your text-to-speech tool, which don't ask me what that is yet. I have no idea. And you can change your screen rotation, which is what I wanted to do. So, I did that very quickly. And look at that. Woo! Horizontal read. And it is a more natural feeling in your hands this way, I think, because it's now more the width of a book, and that feels more comfortable. But now the, new complications, of course, the next page and previous page buttons aren't convenient for your thumbs, and neither is the keypad for taking notes, which I also don't know how to use yet, so don't ask me that either. We'll get to that. But it does feel better to read this way. So, new things. Did a pretty good job this week, didn't I? Now, the 2 questions and 2 responses that I had throughout the week as people noticed that I was reading from a Kindle were, one, what the heck is the matter with you? Why are you reading on a Kindle? You're a writer. You can't give in and turn to e-readers. Second one was, oh, don't you love your Kindle? How can you live without your Kindle? You'll never live without it again. Now I have to admit that this week was the first time since my Kindle and I have been together in a relationship that I have felt infatuation. I am just a little infatuated with this thing, which is kind of fun. So I'm going to go off and read horizontally right now, and you go off and do your reading. And let me know this week in the comments section what your favorite tools and applications are, and if there's anything else I should spend time figuring out. And we will meet back here next Friday for installment number 4. And until then, happy kindling and happy reading. Bye-bye. 再见.